Hi guys, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. Today we're playing Telltale's Walking Dead. I won't play much of the game. I'll just play maybe the first few minutes, maybe the first chapter if it ends soon enough. You can play most of this on the demo. You might be able to play the first episode for free. But a lot of people have been getting the one based on the TV show, and I think that this game's a lot better. But you play it for the story, not for the gameplay. Let me turn it down because it's probably going to be loud as shit. And with my luck, it'll turn out like shit too, and then I'll be upset and have a nervous breakdown, and my nose will start bleeding as well as my eyes, and then I'll spontaneously human combust, and I don't know, it's not pretty. Especially for whoever has to clean up the puddle of mush that'll turn into later. So, I actually started playing the second two episodes of the season. I think I started replaying this so it didn't pick up on my last save, but if you play this and save the end of the game on the first season, it goes over into the second season, which unfortunately I wasn't able to do because I think I played over my whole season after I finished it. But everybody's game's going to vary greatly based on how you play it. So I guess there's some spoilers, but at the same time, since everybody's experience is unique, like I don't expect it to be that drastic of a spoiler, especially if I'm just playing episode 1. So without further ado, I'll play a new game. We'll play standard mode. This game's pretty easy for the most part. It wants you to finish the game. It's more about the story. And Robert Kirkman, the person who actually wrote the comic books, actually helped out with this game and helped write the story and flesh it out. It's kind of weird. I like the show better than the comic book, which I have read. A lot of people are like, oh, you like the show? Well, it's nothing compared to the comic book, but I think the comic book is filled with a lot of interchangeable, shitty, unlikable characters that sometimes I have to turn back or go back to an older issue just to see who died because I cared about them that much. But I have to say, Telltale's Walking Dead, I think, has the most likable, and I mean the characters are shitty, a lot of them are, but I mean it has the story that I've cared about the most, maybe because I'm involved a little bit, but I think it has a better story between all three formats. I like the show second best, and I'm not one of those people who don't read the book or whatever. I did read the book. You have to pick choices in a short amount of time. So, if you're a slow reader, you might be stuck picking some bad choices because it'll pick out a choice for you.
And what do you say?
And it usually picks the shittiest choice. So the right stick moves the mouse, which is kind of awkward. I haven't played this on PC. I played the Back to the Future games on PC, and when I played the Back to the Future games on the PS3, it kind of felt similar. Right now, it's just basically telling you how to play.
What do you think?
The graphics kind of try to make it look like the comic book style, but depending on the artist, like the comic book style varies. This definitely looks like its own thing. The comic books are in black and white if you're not in the know. I guess to try to give it that Night of the Living Dead effect. They even aired some of the Walking Dead episodes on AMC in black and white, and I believe the pilot episode on the special edition of the DVD and Blu-ray of the first season is in black and white. But basically everything you do and say everybody remembers, which can make or break you with certain characters in the game. There are times you actually can lose in the game, but I mean, It's not the end of the world. It'll let you start over. So you can start over again if you die, but you really can't change like what characters think about you unless you start the game all the way from the beginning, which isn't really the best way to go, because what's great about this game is even though it's linear, it changes each time you play it based on your choices. Because I can think of plenty of instances where, like, if I made completely different choices, the games would be different, and that season 2 would be different as well. Which I'm kind of aggravated that. But if I like go back and play this or whatever, it'll change the ending. But that means I have to play episode 1 and 2, which are currently out for season 2, all over again to get the desired ending.
Maybe he was innocent.
Innocent? They caught the fucker red-handed, stabbing his wife, cutting her up as the boys came through the door.
You see the F-bomb. This game's definitely rated mature. There's a lot of graphic things happening that even with its cartoon style, it almost seems out of context, but there's a lot of messed up stuff in season 1 and even season 2 so far, so if you have kids or whatever, like, it might not be the game to play in front of them or let them play, but I mean, if you're a parent, that's your decision. And sometimes parents aren't well informed enough. Sometimes they see a mature game and it's like, oh, it's just zombies, but there's some mature themes in this game. I don't know if I had kids, I would let them play if they weren't of age, even though it looks like a cartoon. But this is the character you play as. His name's Lee, if he hasn't said it already. If you ever watch IGN, Greg Miller always has like I think it's Dave Fenoy or whatever that does the voice of Lee. It's always a joke where he always like advertises his services. So basically you have this mouse cursor and it changes to button prompts depending on what you do.
Tossed from the car during the wreck. Hey! Hey, officer! Are you alright? I'm still trapped back here!
Yeah, that doesn't look good for me. Let's find something else so I can turn all the way around. I can tell it's been a while since I actually played this. I've been playing season 2. I just finished it last week. It just came out on Tuesday. It was kind of a nice treat. I played South Park, which I finished yesterday, which I'm kind of bummed. It's like the shortest RPG I've ever played. But South Park and this game came out at the same time. Next week will be pretty cool too, because Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes will come out, as well as Final Fantasy X and X-2 Remastered comes out. But I know a majority of you won't give a flying fuck about that shit, especially when it comes to RPGs. Those are like my lowest rated videos usually when I play RPGs. But like I said, I make this channel for me first, and then hope that like-minded people will come and watch.
The officer shot that.
I mean, if it doesn't have bullets in it, I could still beat things with it. I mean, it's a shotgun.
Looks empty.
Whoa, I mean, it's a nice club. Now you're gonna put it down. But Terminal Reality made a game based on the Walking Dead TV show. I'm sure it sold well, even though it was a cheaper game. I think it was like $30 when it comes out. The typical PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 games. About $60. Some people like it. I personally didn't like it. It might be your thing. I just felt like it was a bunch of fetch quests, and like I was talking in the video where I was taking my dog for a walk, I would like to play a zombie game where you didn't have to scavenge for ammo. It's just like what I enjoy when I play games like Doom or the old Doom, even though it's not a good comparison because the 3 or whatever, the supplies are scarce too. But I just like to play a game where like you can experiment with blowing off certain body parts, which happens at Wolfenstein. Like you throw a grenade, their legs and stuff blow off, their head blows off, whatever. I kind of like that campiness. I was like, I wish there was a zombie game where you didn't have to scavenge for supplies and you just had unlimited bullets and weapons and stuff and just go to town. The puzzles are pretty simple in this. Like, this game is more about story than gameplay, but the gameplay is functional.
Holy shit!
In the Walking Dead universe,
What in the hell? What the fuck are you?
you don't have to technically get bit to turn into a zombie, although that will do it.
What happened?
Get the shotgun, you dope.
Come on, you.
They make you use the right analog stick because they know it's awkward. Get it. We're gonna have to beat you in the head with this gun.
Don't make me do this!
And don't skimp on the gore. On the Walking Dead universe, you technically are already infected, so if you die, even if you're not bit, you turn into a zombie. That's kind of what happened right there. Spoiler alert for people who watch the show, but I guess it's a little late now. In the comic book, like within the first couple of pages, maybe a little bit more than a couple of pages, it like skips to the show's season 3 basically, even though they drastically change after that storyline wise. So if you're interested, you should definitely read both. But so far, all the comic books I've read. All right, where am I supposed to go now?
Help! Go get someone!
There's a little girl over there. I don't know if you can see it on YouTube, depending on how compressed it is. Yeah, but the comic book moves really fast compared to the TV show. So you find all that shit early on. Just don't think the characters are as likable, or even if they're shitheads, you don't care about them. They're just mostly shitty people that curse each other out and fight and have sex, and that's about it. They don't really have a lot of redeeming qualities, and maybe that's how it would be at the end of the world, but the characters on the TV show, I think, are more likable. The zombies look more like the zombies that look like they come from the grave or something on this, and so they do on the comic book too. If you ever saw the action figures that McFarlane Toys makes, they look, based on the comic book, they look more like that, but I don't know. Maybe later on in the comic book, because I have a few more issues to catch up. I have like quite a few actually. I'm not, like, I have most of the issues, but like I have like a decent amount I still need to read, but I've read maybe about 500 pages worth of the comic book so far, and that's my consensus. Maybe it'll change later on. That's my opinion. Just like it's my opinion, I don't like the Walking Dead game based on the TV show, and I really did want to like it too. I just didn't. I just zombies are so cliched now, like, and the fact that you got to do a lot of fetch quests and shit. That's why I don't like the Dead Rising games that much. I like Dead Island for the exploration, but when Riptide came out and it was exactly the same thing and melee weapons, which are cool, but everything's limited, and I don't like the fact that your weapons deteriorate. I know that's a common thing for an RPG.
Screw it. Just gotta go in. Coming in.
I just don't like it when the weapons deteriorate, because then it makes me want to not fight, and part of playing an RPG is leveling up. But I think it's called Survival Instincts, which sucks because Terminal Reality were the same people that made Ghostbusters, which I really liked. And then after Survival Instincts, they made that Connect Star Wars games with the karaoke and stuff, which probably put them out of business. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. I think around that point they were desperate, but I'm sure a decent amount of people bought The Walking Dead based on the TV show, because the TV show is like popular. If you're ever on Facebook when The Walking Dead airs, it's like a damn ghost town. And I like the TV show too, although third season I was starting to get bored of it. I was kind of getting bored of it in the fourth season until the mid-season finale came on. Then it got real interesting, and now it's an interesting show again, and there's a lot of character development, which I feel like the comic book is lacking. Like, the comic book just a lot of times goes from just one thing to another before you have a chance to even care. But like I said, I might change my opinion after I read more. I have about over 1,600 pages to read, and then there's like a couple of books to catch up at the comic book store if I'm really still interested. Like, the comic book store had like a huge sale on like those books that have like 1,000 pages worth of the comic book in them. And I got them like super cheap. The books themselves are like $70. I think I got them $40 a piece, which is a steal. The damn books are so freaking heavy. Like, you're like, if you read them every day, you'll probably get arthritis. I think some people just like to say the book's better just because it makes you sound more intelligent, or it's like it's the cool hipster thing to say. But sometimes the book is better. Especially when it comes to comic books. Sometimes I think comic books just don't translate well into film.
Anyway, he's not feeling well enough to drive back tonight, so we're staying an extra day. Thanks so much for looking after Clementine.
You know what I forgot to do, which I always forget to do on my videos because I'm that great of a YouTuber. I bet you guessed it by now. The thing about subtitles is sometimes it's on gameplay, sometimes it's on the audio section, and you never know. You just gotta guess. And I should know because I already finished this whole season. I've been playing the second season with subtitles. But oh well. I guess I'm getting up there with age, and so is my memory.
And I promise we'll be back in time before the spring break.
Message 2, left at 11:19 p.m.
This has way more story than Survival Instincts, in my opinion. If you like the melee combat, running away and gathering supplies and shit like that, and don't care as much about the story. Like I said, it might be for you. I didn't enjoy it. I like the first, like I said, Dead Island.
Clementine, baby. If you can hear this, call the police. That's 911.
But like I like the RPG aspects and everything. And it's better to play with 4 people, otherwise that game will destroy you if you play by yourself, unless you just continuously level up. But the zombies kind of level up with you, so, or whatever they call the undead. But I do like the physical damage, and I do like the fact that it takes place in a tropical environment and they deteriorate and stuff like that. I had a few videos. It's kind of like how I wanted Oblivion to be like.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. They tried to get me, but I'm hiding until my parents come home.
But the game can get repetitive, and one thing about games that's kind of a turn off unless it's not serious
And what's your name?
I'm Clementine. This is my house.
is like voice acting can ruin a game's story or experience, and that's one thing about Dead Island that it has.
Where are your parents?
They took a trip and left me with Sandra.
Like
They're
the
in
voice
Savannah,
acting in
I
that
think.
game's so
Where the
bad,
boats are?
but it's a fun game, especially with other people.
Are you safe?
I'm outside in my
But it
tree
looks
house.
silly when everybody picks the same character. It's like 4 clones of the same
See?
people.
Can you see me?
And it's like if you play Battlefield Online, everybody, like if you get a truck, everybody wants to drive it. But I don't know. Decide for yourself with survival instincts. You probably can get it cheap. But if you have a way to try it without having to buy it, I'd go that route. There are action moments, but they're handled differently than an action game. You kind of have to aim the little cursor thing over the parts that you want to hit them with. You have these button prompts, which seem kind of not that interactive. But like I said, this game wants you to care more about the story than the game and the choices that you make. Which is something I try to tell people. Sometimes you don't have to have a game that's like innovative or has the best gameplay in the world, because not every game's mission is to make a super fun action game. For instance, this game's more about telling a story and the choices that you make. It's not about having the best graphics or having the best action sequences.
Hi there.
The game does something well and has validity to it, and well, if you have fun in general with a game, it should be like valid and good.
Yes.
It's okay. I think she was a monster.
I think so too. You've been all by yourself through this?
Yeah, I want my parents to come home now.
I think that might be a little while. You know?
Oh,
Look, I don't know what happened, but I'll look after you till then.
what should we do now?
Nothing like a convict taking over a little kid.
We need to find help before it gets dark.
Yeah, it's not safe at night.
Let's go. Stay close to me.
She has those jelly shoes on that I remember from the 80s. Like some machine probably pooped out really poisonous plastic, pink transparent PVC with sparkles in it, so a bunch of young girls could wear them. I remember like when I was a kid, like when I went to elementary school and even daycare when I used to go to daycare. If you can imagine my old ass being in daycare, there was quite some time ago. All the girls would have them on, in all different colors. I wasn't much better. I probably had a pair of Velcro shoes with like Super Mario on them or something, or Batman. Like, I knew how to tie my shoes. I was so damn lazy.
Should I stay?
My parents are like,
I don't want to
you're
stay
not
until
going
you're
to
up tonight,
first
but
grade
I
until
don't
you
know
learn
if
how
I
to
should
tie
really.
your shoes. So I
My
couldn't
parents
go
come
to
home.
first grade until I had learned how to tie my shoes. That was a long night.
I will leave you alone.
Well, let's go somewhere safe that's close, okay?
That's a good idea.
I'm talking, I'm not paying attention to the choices. It might not necessarily be the choices I want to make. Might have to play this over again. And then again, I'm already like 2 episodes in the season 2. Maybe I'll just play everything over again once I'm done with season 2. Whenever season 2 ends.
We need help.
Are you trying to get out of here? Because you should be. Those things are all over the damn place. I haven't seen anything as gnarly as this neighborhood since downtown Atlanta 15 months back. I'm Sean. Sean Green.
Lee, this is Clementine.
She's named after a citrus fruit.
You shouldn't be out in the open like this. How about you help us clear the way, and you'll take you and your daughter out of here and down to my family's farm. It should be safe in there.
I'm not her dad. Her babysitter. Her parents are out of town.
Let's get going. Staying put for too long is a mistake.
What do you want to do?
Nothing like a babysitter coated in blood.
Your monster's coming.
We gotta go. Lee, quick. Let's go.
You push my prompts. I like how Clementine tries to help. She's already showing incentive.
As babysitters go, I'd say her parents are you a 10.
Alright, this is about where the demo of the game ends. If you ever want to play the demo, I don't know if you can get the first episode or not. I know you could with PlayStation Plus, but I don't know what they're doing right now. They're always changing it up, taking stuff off, putting new stuff on, but I think you have a good idea of what this game's like. But like I said, this game isn't about action. It's not about having the best graphics. Though I do like the art style and I think it fits. So aesthetically, I do think it's pleasing. It's just a different style. It's not supposed to be super realistic. This is a game that's not supposed to be action oriented. This game's based on, and their main goal is to tell a good story, and it's based on the choices that you make and how the story turns out. That's actually Herschel, which looks like he does in the comic, but completely different from the TV show. If you know who Herschel is from watching the TV show or the comic. But anyway, guys, this is Walking Dead Season 1. I can't recommend this game enough.
Your boy's a lifesaver. Glad he could be a help to somebody.
So it's just you and your daughter then?
I can't recommend. I have to stop this. I can't recommend this game enough, but just remember going into it, it's not an action game. It's not like a kill every zombie game or look for supplies type of game. Like, there are those games out there. I mean, I think the best game for that would probably be Dead Island. You could try The Walking Dead Survival Instincts, but I personally didn't like it. Doesn't mean you won't like it. I'm not going to go out and say like it's a bad game or anything, because everybody likes things for different reasons, but when the developers made this game, it is obviously about telling a story that's amazing. hard choices and your consequences based on those choices, and that's something that you can't get from a different medium. And there are some action sequences, but they're not like mind-blowingly action oriented like a first-person shooter or anything like that. I mean, they're subtle and they happen every once in a while. I mean, I'd say it's like a choose your own adventure book, but it's more interactive than that. I mean, you can control where he walks and what he looks at, what you grab, what you don't grab, and again, like your interactions with the people. So, if you're interested in that kind of game and you're interested in a good story, you want like, I don't know, there's not a lot of adventure games out there like that, and this is very accessible. So you don't have to be the best adventure game player. You never come across like an awkward puzzle that makes no sense like a lot of adventure type games do. Like, at least play the demo if it's still up. Check it out. I can't recommend this game enough, and I have a feeling like after you play the first season or so and you get through it, you're probably going to want more, and you'll get the season pass, and you'll probably get the second season pass. At least that's what happened to me. Because when I heard that The Walking Dead was going to be an adventure game, this is before like Survival Instincts and stuff. I didn't know anything about that. The first Walking Dead game is going to be like an adventure game. I was like, what the hell? And then I played it and I was hooked. Of course, I also just finished playing the Back to the Future games too. They have a Jurassic Park game that's like this. It didn't get as good of reviews as Back to the Future and the Walking Dead series, but still wouldn't mind playing it just to see what it was like. Well, I like the first Jurassic Park movie. I don't really care for the other one. Now they have Jurassic Park World. I can't imagine it blowing my mind, but maybe I'll eat my words. I don't know, but I'm sure you're tired of looking at a blank screen. Thank you guys for watching, and definitely check out this game. Alright guys, take care and bye.